Next up, we're gonna talk about Lori Harvey. Lori Harvey is a popular person in Black popular culture. I know that was a bit redundant, but she's somebody who people like to talk about. She's like, I guess, I don't know. I guess you can describe her somewhat as like the Black version of what Paris Hilton was in her day. It's something similar to that. Um, there aren't as many rumors of Lori. Well, actually, I'll take that back. There actually are. I was gonna say there aren't as many rumors of Lori Harvey getting around the way that there were a lot of he say, she say, hearsay in terms of people like Paris Hilton and Kim Kardashian getting around. But
Uh-huh.
no, that's actually wrong. There's actually a lot of stuff going on out there
Wait a second.
in
So
terms of Lori Harvey getting around.
wait a second. So I've heard of her only because of the Michael B. Jordan. This is the Michael B. Jordan girl, right?
Yes, yeah,
Okay, so who's
yeah.
she the daughter? Is she Steve Harvey's daughter?
Yeah, Steve Harvey's not by blood, so I believe. Well, yeah, because she has her last name. I believe that Steve. I believe she is Steve Harvey's wife's daughter, but they're kind of. She took on Harvey's last name.
Because this girl here
I,
don't look like no Steve Harvey. I'm like, what are you
yeah,
talking about?
exactly. I think she's the biological daughter of Steve Harvey's wife. Is the way that works out.
All right.
But she's been associated with several men in the hip hop industry. I'm not going to read off the list. If you are interested in checking that out, I invite you to check that out for yourself. If you are watching this video and you know who she is, there is a chance that you are aware of her various associations. But she was recently on a podcast with Teyana Taylor, and she talked about why she dates on her terms. And this is what we're going to provide our thoughts on. So this article here is from People, and it says Lori Harvey is changing the way she dates. The model, 25, spoke about her approach to relationships on Bumble's Love to See It YouTube series with Teyana Taylor. During Wednesday's episode, Harvey and Taylor had an intimate conversation about their philosophies for relationships of all kinds, from romantic to platonic to professional. The pair discussed never compromising one's core values, but focused a lot on change. I almost got married very young, Harvey revealed. I felt like I hadn't really experienced anything. I didn't really know myself. I didn't really know what I liked, what I didn't like. I just feel like I hadn't really experienced life. She said she eventually came to a point where she wanted to, quote, date on my own terms. She added, however I want to move, whatever I want to do. And please pay attention to these quotes. I'm going to repeat that. She added, quote, however I want to move, whatever I want to do, I'm going to do it. And if it's no longer serving me, I'm going to move on. Earlier in the episode, Harvey said that change is, quote, the beautiful part of growth, noting that she doesn't want the same things at 25 that she wanted at 21. Quote, two different mindsets. Like, I don't even know her anymore. She's not here anymore, Harvey said. This is who we're dealing with today. So, those are Harvey's quotes. That was a bit of what she talked about on that thing with Teyana Taylor, dating on her own terms. If a situation doesn't serve her, she's going to move on. So what did and mind you, this is coming in the aftermath of the end of her relationship with Michael B. Jordan, which was a very high profile thing, because that was perceived to be one of the few times that uh, Black popular culture gets to bask in the glory of a young, attractive couple. Like we've had our Beyonces and Jay Z's, but Beyonce was like 30 something, Jay Z was like 40 something. Michael B. Jordan and Lori Harvey was like in their 20s, young, hot type thing. And so it was a big deal when they got together. And it was also a big deal when they broke up. And so, she talked about that after they broke up, however long ago that was. And I'm penny for your thoughts on what you have to say about Lori Harvey's comments on, why she now dates on her own terms.
I just think she's just speaking from the book of Modern Woman, uh, chapter 1, verse 7, I think that was. And I think so. She's just pulling from the manual. They have a handbook for this. I don't know where it's at. It must be a PDF downloadable somewhere because they're all saying the same damn thing. I swear they're all saying the same damn thing. So I have no idea what's going on, but she sounds like some random girl that I pulled, and I'm trying to talk to her, and she's like, you too controlling. I need to do whatever I want." And it's just like, yeah, that kind of logic. So apparently it doesn't matter. Hell, I can be Michael B. Jordan, and a woman would still do that to me. So you ain't safe. I don't know what's going on right now that you ain't safe. You can listen. That's crazy. Like Michael B. Jordan is today's Denzel for these women. You know what I'm saying? Maurice Chestnut. And this
Yeah,
woman said,
I think you can say that. That's a safe thing to say.
yeah, and this woman
Yeah.
just dunked on his ass. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. That wouldn't have happened in the 90s or whatever. You know what I'm saying? This is real modern, bro. This is evolved. I almost got married at a young age, and they were controlling me and this and that, and it was, man, this whole thing, man, that they just want to live their life. They want to live theirs. They want to, you know what I'm saying? They want to be like how dudes is, and you know what I'm saying, experience all the different flavors out there. And even if you got a flavor that you can eat every day and that you really like and enjoy, I know there's other flavors out there though. And with that kind of mindset, yeah. So I think she's pulling from the same manual and handbook, bro. So how do you feel about that?
Yeah, this topic somewhat relates to the one that we just talked about, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It displays
Mm-hmm.
why bro is able to make videos like the one that he made that we just talked about, because
Mm-hmm.
chicks do stuff like this. Like, this is interesting to me because it represents this stuff. So like what I just read, her quotes and all of that,
Mm-hmm.
that is representative, in my opinion, of today's culture and the ways in which there is a nexus in which modern behavior and traditionalism collide. What I think is going on here is, and we've talked often about how women speak in code. So what I think is going on here is she represents what is the large contingent of today's woman who operates her dating life from a point of masculinity, which is, I'm going to date around and explore all of my options and date multiple men at the same time. And I'm going to stick and move. Essentially, whenever a situation no longer serves me, because that's what relationships are nowadays, is how best can this situation serve me given whatever state my life is in the present. Once this situation no longer serves me, I am going to relinquish it so that I can move on to something else that can better serve me. That is, but she's coding it as, I'm gonna date on my own terms. Like, all this is modern females approach to dating, which is, I'm gonna be masculine. I want to date around, I want to sleep around, I want to be able to explore all of my options and date as many men as possible. But there's still an aspect of a scarlet letter type societal stain that I want to be able to sidestep. And what I want to be able to sidestep is society labeling me as an Amber Rose variety of slut. See, one thing that I will at least respect Amber Rose for, in comparison to an individual like Lori Harvey, is Amber Rose will say, yeah, I'm a slut, so what? Yeah, I like to have multiple relationship interests with multiple guys, and yeah, I embrace that. It is what it is. We are slowly but surely reaching a point where being a slut is not only something that we socially accept, but something that we actually glorify and appreciate. And so Amber Rose is on the front lines of that. And she's saying, while we get to a point in society where we are coming to terms with how we now want to view slut, I'm going to embrace and name myself that way because I know that that's where we're headed. Lori Harvey conversely, is stuck in this nexus where that is what she's about. To me, she's on the same thing as Amber Rose, in my opinion. To me, they're the same person through and through. But Lori Harvey is trying to sidestep the scarlet letter stain by coding it as I want to date on my own terms. And if a situation doesn't serve me, then I'll move on, as opposed to just outright saying, I like to have multiple boyfriends and sleep around with multiple men because that's how I get my rocks off and that's how I want to date because I find it fun and enjoyable and I want to live my life and do it this way. And if you don't like it, kick rocks. Right? She ain't going to say that because she might get criticized in social media troll world for saying those things. Whereas Amber Rose, who has developed a brand off of that type of stuff, doesn't care. And so she can say it and it doesn't matter because for the rest of us, if Amber Rose says something like that, she's being on brand. But the both of them really are one and the same. They both
Mhm,
operate in terms of their dating life in a very masculine way, which
mhm,
is I'm going to retain as many options as possible. I'm going to date as many men as I want. I'm going to be sexually active with as many men as I want. And you can't tell me nothing, to quote Kanye. It's a masculine way of doing it because for the beginning, since the beginning of time, that's what we as men did. I want to have all my options. I'm going to have multiple women who I sleep with. And as soon as she start acting up, I'll just leave her and I got other women on the team. So women do the same thing now, only
mhm,
they actually do it better, in my opinion,
mhm,
because more women want men than there are women who want men. So women always are going to have more options than men are. So women are always going to be able to perform this at a higher level than men can on average, excluding the men who can do this at a very high level, which is their entertainers and your athletes, your pro athletes. But outside of that, most guys can't do this at a high enough level to be able to compete with a woman who says, I'm going to do it too. And Lori Harvey is just a woman who says, I'm going to do it too. And she just gave you her manuscript right there in those quotes. She's just a masculine, modern day female dater, a la Amber Rose, a la a lot of these other women out here, these loving hip hop chicks, Erica Mena, take your pick. They all do it, and they're all saying this is where the world is going, and you're going to celebrate me for it. Um, the only thing is, like Lori Harvey is just kind of hiding in the shadows somewhat. It's like she's on the DL with it. Like she's in the nexus, and she is too afraid at this point to break out of the nexus. And she'll probably be comfortable enough in her own skin once she hits about 30 to finally break out of the nexus and just admit, like, yeah, I just like doing my thing. I like being single again woman out here. I'm going to have as many men as I want on the team because that's just how I like to do things. Because for me, relationships are a matter of stepping stone, convenience, and what they can do for me in the moment. And the moment that these relationships no longer serve my best interests, I reserve the right to renege on that contract and opt out. Because that's what they all do is opt. That's what we do. As I'm not even trying to make this about women exclusively. That's what we do. We opt out. And so Lori Harvey is someone who opts out famously. I mean, Google all of the guys in the and these are industry guys too. Google all the guys that Lori Harvey has been associated with in terms of romantically. And she's only 25. So she has a lot more roadmap to go. And it's just, it's a situation where this is where we are. And so I kind of view people like Lori Harvey and Amber Rose as the same. But Lori Harvey kind of tries to operate in shadows, whereas Amber Rose just flat out says, I'm slut walking it. And that's pretty much how I see that.
yeah, I agree. I agree. I like that angle. I think that the masculine women. I think that is. I think what we're calling it's masculine. It's masculine, but I had a theory that when you're dealing with just raw feminine energy, it comes off kind of masculine. That's my opinion. It comes off today's world masculine. And I think that women throughout society have been put in these positions to where they couldn't be their full selves. And I think the society that we're living in now allows them to do whatever they want. And we're starting to see what they'll do if they can do whatever they want. And men aren't liking it. And nah. And man, in countries and places where the penalty is death for cheating, women still cheat. So I'm inclined to believe, I'm inclined to believe that if anybody isn't well rounded, know who they are, and they live in their animal self, then they're going to do animal things and just have salacious sex and just have sex, because that's all dogs and cats do, is just go around and just the animal just go, hey, mate. And so I think the thing was going on with modern women is that they've got free reign to do or say whatever they want. And now we're actually seeing the first, honestly, man, the first generations of really liberated women. I mean, I would honestly say in world history, if not in the last 2 or 3 thousand years. And now we're just seeing women do what they want, and they're doing what men do. And religion has prevented women from doing what men do. Certain cultures prevent women from doing what men do. And that's why men have a thumb on women so much in other places and other cultures and societies, in my opinion, is because once women are allowed to do what they want, men don't like it.
Yeah,
And
no one
so,
likes it. No one likes being forced to relinquish power.
what do you mean? Who's relinquishing power?
Men, like you say, men don't like it.
Oh
So
yeah,
but
yeah, 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 yeah.
because
Absolutely,
yeah, people are always going to be averse to change. So men
absolutely.
just don't like giving up that power.
Right. And so I think what's going on now is that women have a choice, and they could do whatever they want, and they're choosing to act in their base selves and just go chase around and just go do no different than a man who's just stuck in his base self and going around just having sex with anybody and doing all kind of crazy stuff. So I think that that's what we're seeing now. I think what you said about Amber Rose is key and important, because what Amber Rose has done is she just embraced the fact that she does what she does. But if you talk to any woman in the street, like that was a good thing you said too, like a scarlet letter type of thing. Women are very socially aware of what they shouldn't be viewed as. So they speak around those things all the time. And that's
Yeah,
why we say they speak in code,
right.
because they can't say what they really feel, because if they did, you ain't gonna like it.
Yeah.
So they talk around stuff a lot. They talk around stuff a lot. And so yeah, I feel like her explanation of why she didn't do that, yeah, it was a talk around. It's just a real talk around, real roundaboutish. And honestly, from me having so many homegirls, exes, and all this other stuff, I get the language. I completely understand why I'm being bullshitted now. And so, yeah, it's great, man. It's like my
Yeah.
my my detector is just next level. So, because I get the code and I get what they're trying to do.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
You got to be
uh,
able to know how to decipher the code.
you gotta break the
Yeah.
code. And so yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. But yeah, man, it was just crazy. I've seen videos before where women got killed, publicly executed, because in that culture they know you shouldn't cheat. She
Mhm.
did it anyway.
Mhm.
And so if the penalty for cheating is death and you still do it, then it has to be deeper. There's something else going on there. And I think what's happening is that it ties into the previous conversation, man, and previous stuff. If there's a balanced person, so a balanced woman, and she gets what's going on, she understands her sexual desires and this desire and all that stuff, and she just gets herself and she just operates within herself, then she's good to go. But if she doesn't understand what makes her her urges, her this is her that, and she's just acting off instinct and all this other stuff, then yeah, these types of things happen where they're not really. I don't know what their relationship was, her and B Jordan or whatever, but aesthetically it looked pretty good, right? But still, even then, when it's like if they have the golden opportunity or a golden situation, they still might blow it up because of that lack of balance and that lack of being aware of their desires and where their desires are coming from. Man, that's very important. And that's why I
Yeah.
said, man, and that's why I said my mom and dad raised me one way, how to be that way. Whenever I met my family and cousins and stuff, they all had me in one direction. School. School took me out of certain things, and that damn TV and them songs, they had a stronghold on what I thought was really fun. Because all these people over here are so dull and so well behaved and so boring. Over here,
How dare they be well behaved?
how dare they?
The
But this,
audacity of
but
being
all
well
this,
behaved.
but this stuff out here is so exciting. Look at this, it's bad, loud cars, rims.
Women that's the exact same thing that women do.
So that's what I'm saying. And so, and I can resonate for why they do that. I have the recall and I can trace back and I can call it out and identify how those weren't my original thoughts. And I said, if somebody is doing that, then they're at an advantage amongst all this mind control. But if you're talking to a bot and then you say, hey, who are you? Where are you from? Where are you getting these ideas and all this other stuff? And they think it's just, what do you mean? You know, I just bought my Dove hoodie out of trash bag. And it's just like, yeah, there you go. Yeah. So who's behind the Dove hoodies? You know what I'm saying? It's them.
Yeah, I know. It's just
Yeah.
it yeah, I know. But the thing is, if you ask Lori Harvey, she's gonna be like, I know exactly who I am. That's why I'm doing this.
Yeah, you know, that's
I know, I'm just saying, like, she knows. The thing is, like, look at the quotes. Like, these, you can't tell people who think like her
oh no.
that they don't know who they are. She knows, she believes she knows exactly who she is. That's
Right.
why she feels comfortable enough to at least say what she said there. Like, what we're looking at here is a full on pendulum swing. We're going to have to change how we perceive certain notions like
Mm-hmm.
slut, promiscuity, infidelity. Like, we're looking at a landscape in which we are going to have to completely undergo cognitive reorient. Like, we're going to have to reorient how we cognitively perceive certain notions.
Mm-hmm.
What we have traditionally thought a slut to be, we're gonna have to change how we think that. We're gonna have to. We're not gonna have any other choice, because now what we're looking at is a situation in which if a man can do it, then a woman can do it too. And like, this is the history of the world. Like, men have been whores since the beginning of time, and that's been
Absolutely.
socially acceptable. So the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, the pendulum is now swinging, if not already swung. The door is kind of wide open at this point. No one calls a guy a whore. We call women whores. But we're getting to a point now in our world where we're not even going to call women whores anymore. These are going to be obsolete, antiquated notions and terms. What do you mean she's a slut? What does that mean? Why are we even calling her? You're calling her a slut. Why? Because she has multiple sexual partners. So what? That's normal. That's regular. It's 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 normal to the point where the idea that there's something off about it wouldn't even register in your brain. It's that kind of normalization of that. Slut, promiscuity, infidelity. We got all of this stuff going on. What's the thing called where polyamorous relationships, all of this kind of stuff that's going on, that's becoming more commonplace. Like, it's just a situation where we are looking at the very fabric of the way that we view certain things changing right before our very eyes. And I think the pushback to it is merely a resistance to change. But you can't tell Lori Harvey that she doesn't know who she is. She knows exactly who she is. She's somebody who likes to live it up and have fun. She likes to be a single. Apparently, the reason why her and Michael B. Jordan didn't work out, and this is by the reports, is because he wanted to settle down and get serious and committed, and she didn't.
Yeah.
She wanted to be the one who continued to play the field. So it's like more and more females are acting in this regard, where it's like I just want to, and the reason why I'm calling that masculine is because since the beginning of the time it's been men who do it, but
Right, right, right.
really it's kind of really is a it's a backhanded application of the word masculine, because it's just everybody's all able, all things are equal in this way, everyone's just out here doing the same thing, and she's comfortable doing this because she knows that it's something that she really wants to do, which, if I'm being honest, I have to at least respect her that much, because you got a lot of women out here who would love to be single, not be married, and just have a lot of sexual partners and just be sexually liberated and free and be able to do whatever they want with whoever they want. But they feel the societal pressure of womanhood. They feel the weight of society bearing down on them, telling them that they are only validated as individuals if they become wives and mothers. So like, she's breaking the mold on that. I don't care about being a wife and mother for what. I just want to slur it up. I just want to have sex with whoever I want whenever I want. I want to be in a relationship or have as many boyfriends as I want. And you're going to have to get used to the normalcy of that, because this is where the culture is going, man. So I don't think we're dealing with people who don't know who they are. I think actually it's the opposite. I think these people know exactly who they are. I think Amber Rose knows exactly who she is. I think Lori Harvey knows exactly who she is. Now, she's eventually, like I said, going to have to come to terms with not speaking in code, because sleuths like me can read through the code. I know what it is that you're saying. So don't come to me with this self righteousness talking about dating on your own terms and leaving a situation when it no longer suits you, when really it's just about you wanting to hop from one penis to the next. That's really what this boils down to. And, as long as she knows that and she's aware of that, which I do believe that she is, the only thing that I can really fault her for is attempting to pull the wool over everyone's eyes by speaking in code.
Yeah, I hear that. And when I say, know themselves, yeah, everybody that you say, if you polled 100 people, do they know themselves? Pretty sure about 98 of them say they do. Right.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
gonna be a couple people in there like, I don't know who I am. It's like, all right, bro. I want to talking to you, bro. I want to talking to you. But everybody else more or less is gonna be like, yeah, I know who I am. Fuck yeah, shit.
yeah,
Of course I know who I am. And so, but that's an automated response because nobody's gonna run
yeah.
around and say they don't know who they are. And so, but what I mean by, is if you can really explain how you got to where you're at right now. Her explaining that she had game ran on her when she was younger, she can say that's where this is coming from, but I would argue that it could be other things. And like from the discussion that we had before, I really feel like a lot of this is societal things that's going on. And if
Yeah.
she can point to and click where she went left with her logic, then I would say, all right, you're on the right, you're in the right ballpark. Because if you can, the progeny behavior,
Mm-hmm.
where is this coming from? And so if you can trace where your current behaviors, if you can trace to where they came from, that is step one in getting rid of those thoughts and those habits that make you act like that. But if you can't trace and find out where they come from, the origin of these things, then you're subject to do this for the rest of your life. And so that's why I ask, hey, and so when somebody does tell me that they know themselves, I ask them to please show their work. And so if you can show your work, and it's like you do self-evaluation, or you do have a therapist, or you do have somebody where you are actually working on who you are. But if you're just out here just doing your thing, I talk to my girls, I do this, I do that, and it's like, all right, but you know what I'm saying? Like they in the same bubble as you. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Yeah, she's gonna
Yeah.
have her housewife show. That's when she's gonna settle down, when it's actually gonna make money sense. This
Mm-hmm.
is the world. Everybody's a narc, bro.
Yeah.
This
I know.
world is breeding everybody to be a narc.
Yeah.
And it's not just Lori Harvey. It's the basic girl that work at Publix.
Yes.
And she is just
Yes.
out of her mind. And she thinks she the baddest thing ever. Because,
Yes.
well, I mean, name 100 guys. All 100 of them would have sex with her. But that
Yep.
doesn't mean anything. Guys will
Mhm.
have sex with anything if it's free. If it's free. So what are
Yeah.
you doing? So, but now that women have this black card of any man to have sex with me, don't let her look like Lori Harvey. Because
Oh, it's a
what's
wrap. Yeah.
what's Michael B. Jordan to me in her eyes? I can really get a billionaire. This guy's just making movies. I can get some guy. Yeah, I can get some guy who actually has stuff. The studio the boy works in. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
so with her, she's not girl from Publix. So she can really take this super hypergamous reality to its fullest potential. And so why waste it on Michael B. Jordan? He's so new, he's so fresh. Like there's so many other things out there. I need to explore my market. If I pull my tag right now, I might cash out on a real big payday one day. So I think that's more or less her lane. It is what it is. But she's doing what most modern women are doing right now. But she
Mhm.
just has the cachet and the name and all this other stuff behind her, so it's public. And she actually has enough, the looks, the social, everything to actually get these guys and date these rappers and all this other stuff. So she's living the American dream. And so
Yep.
yeah, and so when that whole situation went down, and so she can like you said, bro, she's speaking in code to explain that logic because she can't just come right out and say, "Oh yeah, I didn't want him because I feel like I can get better." No, I'm still young and I still want to do me. That not buying that crap, you know. And so whenever they are selling that crap, all right, I tell them to put it in the trash bag and call it
Yeah.
a, call it a
Yeah.
construction bag.
Put it in the bag with the rest of the Easy Gap.
And call it a
Yeah.
construction bag and get that
For real.
shit out of my face.
Yeah, you can sell that to whoever is willing to buy them clothes. That's all. That's all we gonna do with that. Yeah, I can. I hear all of that, man. Yeah, she's able to do it at the highest level.
Yeah, at the
But
highest.
but the thing is, she serves as an inspiration to all women everywhere. All of these regular girls out here, they aspire to do what Lori Harvey can do. Whether they'll get there is a whole other story, but there's a trickle down effect for this kind of thing. I have witnessed that since day one,
Mhm.
and as long as these girls know, and I say girls on purpose, I use that word intently. As
Mm.
long as these girls know that, like, they don't, it doesn't matter whether they work at Publix or not, Walmart, it doesn't matter. They can they selling shoes at Finish Line, as long as they know that they can post bikini pics and pics going to the club and they in the dresses and all of the rest of the stuff that they do, and they get 2, 3, 400 likes and several DMs. Statistically speaking, at some point one of those DMs is going to be an individual who can afford her with whatever it is that she is searching for at that time. And just as Lori Harvey said, once that situation no longer serves her, she will just rinse and repeat. She'll rinse and repeat. So this definitely has a trickle down effect. 1000%. It doesn't need to be a celebrity, it can be a regular female, it doesn't matter. But we are looking at the pendulum swinging right before our very eyes. Um, we are not going to be using words like slut, hoe, whatever, like infidelity, older words like promiscuous, all of this. Those words are just going to be eliminated from the lexicon. We are no longer going to be using these types of terms to describe women's behavior, because these types of behaviors will no longer require a term to distinguish them from normal behavior, because it will all be typical normal behavior.
Yep.
That's it. So, the only thing that I'll say to her is stop speaking in code, because people out here ain't dumb. But other than that, I completely get where this is coming from. And much like everything else, it's going to continue.
Lori is at Dogon SS. Is at Dogon SS. I was just joking about all that stuff. We can still hang out. So Just hit me up.
uh,
It was worth the shot.
it's a Future too. Future is somebody else that she was with. So make that make
Oh,
sense.
Future had that.
Oh yeah, before Michael
Uh
B. Jordan did. Yeah, very
Future Hendrix.
famously. Yeah, that's why
Future
Future got
Hendrix.
that song with 42 Doug, another one of these little new rappers, and he Future say it on the hook or somewhere on the song. He'd be like, "Tell Steve Harvey I don't want her" or something like that, talking directly about that situation.
Yeah.
But
Way to go. Future, my guy.
yeah, I'm sure he is.